comes the sack. Throws to the end zone. A man open. Touchdown.
Oh, my.
Here in Miami, New England has not fared as well through the years. 30-8, the Dolphins record, but it's the Patriots' 6th consecutive year. They've now won 9 or more games. And this game will be brought to you in high definition by Sony. The Patriots 9-3. The Dolphins a disappointing 5-7. The rivalry continues on a sunny day in South Florida.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome back to Miami. The Patriots and the Dolphins. Look at the weather and the wind. As you can see, the flag's not whipping now, but could be a factor. Temperature's ideal. Very low humidity, but the winds out of the east, 20 miles an hour, will affect play going, especially from right to left. Bill Belichick, 7th season as the New England head coach, his 32nd year of NFL coaching, and Nick Saban, his 2nd season here in Miami. His teams have gone 14-14. They've started slowly both years, and then they've rallied, and especially last year when Saban's club won the last 6 games and provoked a lot of commentary in the offseason that Miami might be the team to beat in the AFC this year. Did not materialize. We're underway as Olindo Mare kicks it down to the 2-yard line to Kevin Falk, the all-time leader in kickoff returns for the Patriots, and he weaves his way to the 30-yard line, and that's where Tom Brady and the offense will put it in play. Brady starting his 102nd consecutive game. Along with his talent, how about durability? If not the best, Brady regarded as being in the top 3. His offensive line has protected him well. Light, Mankins, Copen, Neal, and Kazur, the bearded blockers. And Corey Dillon, the leading active career rusher, over 11,000 yards in his 10 years. Lawrence Maroney, the brilliant rookie, inactive today with a back injury. So the weight of the running will fall on Dillon. Out of the shotgun to start Brady. He throws to this side and completes to Falk at the 35, a gain of 5. And introducing the Dolphin defense, and it's a good one. Carter, Traylor, Holiday, and Jason Taylor up front. Taylor having another all-pro season. The linebackers, Zach Thomas, 160th game for him. That's more than any defensive player in the history of the Miami franchise. And the back 4, Allen, Bell, Hill, and Goodman, they have only 3 interceptions among them. Here we are in the 13th game. 2nd and 5 with Falk and Evans split in the backfield. You don't see that formation often. Brady, lots of time, throws over the middle, incomplete. And a good job breaking up the play was Channing Crowder. And Donnie Spragan got his hands in there. Kevin Falk, the receiver.
Well, Dick, it was all about the pressure, though, from Jason Taylor. Lined up actually as a defensive back initially, then creeped up and came as a defensive end. And one of the reasons you see New England open up in that kind of empty backfield spread look is they're trying to keep Jason Taylor in this defense into a more conventional look, and it sure didn't work that time.
Taylor pressuring Brady, and of course that makes points even though he didn't get a sack. Brady recognizing he's going to be rushed hard throughout this day. It is a relentless player, Jason Taylor. 3rd and 5. Quick throw is complete to Troy Brown, and 3rd down. Who else? He needed 5. He gets about 5 and a foot, and it should be a 1st down. Zach Thomas makes the tackle.
You know, when Tom Brady last night was discussing wide receivers, he said, well, there's guys that come out of college, they're either fast or big or quick, and they've got to have some sort of things that's really a catch and is their deal. And Troy Brown has proved throughout that long career he's had is he's as quick as anybody that plays the wide receiver position.
Not big and not terribly fast, but cat-like quick. Corey Dillon makes his first carry and runs right into the teeth of the defense. Jason Taylor, who's very proud of the fact that he's not just a great pass rusher, he can play the run in his 4 Pro Bowl years. In fact, he told us that of all the things that he's accomplished, he said, I guess I'm proudest of all of the fact that I've done this at 240, 245 pounds, 30 pounds heavier than most of the men playing my position.
It's been since guys like Fred Dean for the Niners, Jack Youngblood for the Rams, that size defensive ends, Fred Dreyer when he was back with the Rams and the Giants. That's that era for that size defensive end.
2nd and 10 for Brady. Throws complete into Miami territory at the 47-yard line as Riche Caldwell, the former Charger, with a diving catch, his 47th reception of the year.
Well, part of the Rubik's Cube that is sort of solving the Patriots offense is trying to get Tom Brady in one consistent spot. And like all excellent quarterbacks, he has that ability not only to beat you out of the pocket, but also to move around. I guess you'd say that was an excellent throw on the run, though he was hardly sort of running. He just shuffles and he moves and he makes people pay.
Hands off to Dillon, who's run out of bounds at the Dolphin 46 after a gain of a yard as Andre Goodman on the corner bumps him out of play.
You know, Dick, doesn't it seem like the one thing that's missing, and not that you miss it in this drive particularly, but is that pounding run when they had Maroney and Dillon as the 1-2 combination and they were a little bit more judicious pass-wise. There's much more of a passing team right now, the Patriots.
Kevin Falk comes in for Dillon in the backfield, and Jabbar Gaffney, another ex-Florida, University of Florida receiver, is split way out to the right for the first down. On 2nd and 9, the quick throw underneath, a little flanker screen to Troy Brown, and it doesn't work. Well read by the Dolphins as the play made by David Bowens, the 7-year backer from Western Illinois.
Yeah, for all the disappointment here in South Florida, you can't point at the defense when it comes to being disappointing. They've really put up some pretty impressive numbers, and it's not all been Jason Taylor. I think as a unit, especially that front 7, they've been the core of what those numbers have really been about.
3rd down and 10, a yard loss on the play. Taylor digs in. Kevin Falk stands to the left of Brady, moves up a step. That's the tight end in motion, Benjamin Watson, and the throw is off the fingertips of the diving Riche Caldwell, and that'll bring up 4th down and the punting team for New England.
Well, that was a great look. They disguised it as long as they could, and they brought Jeremiah Bell, the safety, at the last minute, caused Brady to just get this thing off a little bit sooner than he wanted to, you know. And Jason Taylor made a point Friday, Dick, that we have a tendency of getting into Tom Brady's head a little bit and making him throw it before he really wants to. It looks like Jason Taylor got poked in the eye in that last play by Matt Light.
Into punt is Ken Walter, the veteran, making his 2nd term at New England for the injured Josh Miller, and Wes Welker, sighting little kick returner, waiting, and will carry it at 11, 15, 20, and gets pretty good field position to the 21-yard line before he's tripped up by Willie Andrews. So we're underway. The Patriots fail to score on their first possession. The Miami Dolphin defense, inspired by that man, Jason Taylor, does its job, and now Joey Harrington takes over at quarterback. 1st down, 1st possession at the 21 for the Dolphins. 2 tight ends, Randy McMichael and Justin Peel. Quick throw, left flat, complete, and a 5-yard gain for Marty Booker, his 44 strength. Booker, Chambers, and then Wes Welker comes in, tough to cover. Here comes the blitz, the quick throw the other side to Peel, the tight end, straightened, he twists away and has the 1st down at the 33-yard line. James Sanders finally with the tackle.
Well, very important, Dick, for Joey Harrington. You talked about, you know, he's throwing some picks. Well, the great cure for that is getting that ball out of his hand quickly. You rarely see a quarterback that throws with, you know, less confidence when he's getting that ball out fast, and it's key for this young quarterback to just get it out of his hand and let his guys do something with it.
Peel using his 45-pound advantage on the safety to twist away for the 1st down. Harrington has to eat it. First sack for the Patriots at the 27-yard line, and credit Ty Warren with a tackle. He now has 6.5 sacks on the season. All of these front three are #1 draft picks for the Patriots, and they play like it.
And it's all about that pressure just bearing down on Joey. He couldn't get the ball out quickly because there was no one open downfield. Everyone was just blanketed down the field. And Warren and that rush were able to eventually just get to Joey. You got to get it out of there, Dick.
And Randy, Vince Wilfork, the big nose tackle, also was down there submarining. They may share that sack. So 2nd and long. Harrington with time throws underneath, complete to Sammy Morris, 40. Midfield, and a big gain of some 20 yards or more before he's brought down. First down in New England territory. Artrell Hawkins finally got him to the turf.
And just like they did when they played the New York Jets earlier, they're going with 4 defensive linemen up front. Just a little bit different look. And it's one thing about being good at a lot of different things is you don't work on everything all the time. And you will have some problems. And matchups are a problem when you have 4 defensive linemen.
Spotted at the 45-yard line. That was a 28-yard play. Morris, first run of the game for the Dolphins, and he plows down to the 40, a gain of 5 against this Patriot defense that has logged some plays back there with Sanders, Hawkins, and Hobbs. And Chad Scott replaces Hobbs in the starting lineup today. Looked like a blown play, Randy, and quarterback Harrington has to take it back to the line of scrimmage. Mike Vrabel there to cover him.
Well, last Sunday, David Garrard for the Jacksonville Jaguars did a lot of running, and the last 2 nights they've had 2 games a night on this field with a lot of high school kids running out of the quarterback position, but no real threat of Joey going real far as a runner. That's clearly a busted play.
And Sammy Morris getting a start for Ronnie Brown, the leading rusher, 783 yards, is sidelined with a left hand fracture. So 3rd and 3. Maybe changing plays. The 28-year-old Harrington, who played his college ball at Oregon. Quick throw sidelines, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Welker, who was hit just as the ball arrived. Good defense by Ray Mickens, just signed by the Patriots this week. He's been with them before, and of course Belichick knows him well, especially the days with the Jets.
And he brings them into that nickel look. They've given him a 4-man line. They've given him a 3-4 look. Last play they were in a nickel, but it was basically three linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs.
So they're going to punt with the line of scrimmage to 38, in part because the kicks are going into the wind from our left to our right.
That Mari's been missing them from 50 plus.
Yeah, he's missed 5. High kick, it'll be fair, caught by Derek Hagan, the rookie from Arizona State. Perfectly done by Donnie Jones, the left-footed booter of Miami. So Brady and the Patriots will start at their own 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Combos, what your mom would feed you if your mom were a man. And by Budweiser Select, brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. Expect everything.
Windy but delightful along the Atlantic beaches near our hotel, the Westin Diplomat.
Well, it's been fun seeing people in parkas and heavy jackets, and it's in the 60s and windy.
Brr, is it cold here. From the 3, Brady handing off to Dillon, and Dillon crashing off the right side for a couple to give some running room for the Patriots.
You know, Dick, we talk a lot about Jason Taylor coming into this game, and just to show you in that first drive, here's sort of why you have to concentrate on this defensive end out of Akron. He makes you pay attention to him. He's played not only as a rusher against the run, and people get concerned with him. They'll double team him, and sometimes you catch that finger in the eye.
Yeah, he's still having problems with it. Matt Light, the left tackle, responsible for checking him most of this day, but Taylor will switch to the other side, go to off the left side of the defensive line, and
illegal procedure balloon.
And what is the penalty for that?
Delay of game. That's pretty good. It's usually a squirrel or something like that you see on air, just delaying the game.
Larry Nemmers calling a let. It's 2nd down and 8. Graham and Watson, 2 tight ends. Graham, you got to play him like a wide receiver with his speed, despite how big he is. The throw into the flat to Dillon. Dillon hit at the 8 and plows forward to make that Graham. Daniel Graham with the catch, the tight end. And he shows his strength at 6'3" and 257, although he doesn't get the first down.
Dick, a little different formation too. Those tight ends were lined up as split backs in the backfield. Both ran a little swing route out there and picked out. And Tom Brady basically just reads the defense and says, which one's going to be the softest sides? I'll let my guy go that way.
So the line of scrimmage, the 12. It'll be 3rd and a yard for Brady and the Patriots. Now a more orthodox I formation, and it's still in this time, and he has the first down out to the 15. Corey Dillon. Well, let's go to Randy's cross talk.
A little something to keep an eye on about today. Miami, you got to do it. Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Channing Crowder, turn loose those dogs. And some of your possessions, it's okay to kick. You found out just now you can pin that offense back. And for the Patriots, you better keep real close track of who's who on defense and how that alignment's going to affect your offensive play calling.
And that Waldo is Jason Taylor. He's going to line up in several spots. Burrowing straight ahead to the 21 is Kevin Falk, as Bill Belichick exchanging backs as he has through the years. I thought it was interesting yesterday as we talked with Belichick, Randy, that he must have said balance 5 different times in our conversation.
Right.
And they are. It's balance between run and pass. It's balance between all the receivers getting an equal chance to catch the ball. It's a balance between a good offense, good defense.
Balance and versatility. There's a lot of catchphrases, you really catch words you catch on around being around the Patriots.
2nd and 5, and off balance is the ball carrier because Jason Taylor was there to nail Kevin Falk.
Well, what he's able to do really is he can dictate to you offensively because you can't put tight ends or people like that. And one thing you better darn sure not do is not block him. No one even touched Jason Taylor there. He comes right cleanly around the outside. Where he aligns and how they align confuses blocking patterns for the offense.
3rd down and 5. Shotgun spread. And what a throw. Ever accurate to Falk on the sidelines and a first down. Zach Thomas was there, but that pass thrown absolutely in the perfect spot.
Well, it doesn't matter who you talk to. You talk to Kevin Falk. Maybe you talked yesterday to Rashay Caldwell, and he was talking about Tom Brady and how accurate he is with the ability to put it perfectly where only he is, where they can get it. Zach Thomas, that was a nice job by Zach Thomas of coverage. He just had absolutely no shot of knocking that pass down.
So from the 3-yard line, the second first down takes the Patriots to the 28. Dillon back. Brady throws complete as he's hit. Gets it off to Benjamin Watson, the talented tight end from Georgia, the 6'3", 255, but he runs like a wide receiver. And even Rashay Caldwell said he can run as fast as any of us.
Well, Dan Wilkinson was all over Tom Brady. It's amazing he got that ball out to get that screen even going. But the end of that play, and it was away from the ball, when Wilkinson basically caressed Tom Brady. It's a testament to how much we're taking care of our quarterbacks. That D linemen don't want to hit a quarterback on a screen.
Number 1 draft pick out of Ohio State 13 years ago, Wilkinson. Here's the fake screen left and the screen to the right to Graham, the tight end. And Graham loses the ball. Scramble at the 40, and the Dolphins say they have it. No signal yet. Yes, Miami ball. Will Allen recovers. Channing Crowder forced it free.
Well, one of the hazards, Dick, if you're going to treat your tight ends like running backs, your tight ends have to act like running backs, and they've got to take care of the ball a little bit better. And Daniel Graham handled it right there like a tight end.
Tom Brady unhappy with that result. Well, Crowder stripped him.
Sorry, Dick. It's been Ben Watson having a problem holding on to the ball for this offense. It's really stopped some of their drives recently.
So Miami with a short field starts at the 39. Sammy Morris, the tailback. Fake to him. Arrington eludes the rush. Throws underneath. Incomplete to Morris. Flag down on the play.
Right around the area where Richard Seymour
Personal
knocked
foul
Harrington
for
down.
93, roughing the passer.
Yep. Jarvis
15-yard
Green.
penalty, automatic first down.
And that's a call we've seen all season long. You've got to be careful how and when you hit the quarterback.
Well, watch. I mean, it's not going to be much. But see, the helmet went up into the helmet to helmet there by Richard Seymour. They're going to call that every single time. Right here, bang, with that little extra push. And it's been a frustrating year for Seymour, but it'll get more frustrating with more of those calls.
So it wasn't Green, but the Pro Bowler Seymour that got ticketed. And a first down now inside the 25. Morris cuts back and tackled after a gain of 3. Vrabel and Bruschi.
See, that's part of, Dick, we talked about the Patriot way and getting on that December run. It doesn't include turnovers. So if you're another AFC team and you want to say, well, heck, if these guys get going, what are we going to do against New England? If they're going to start turning the ball over, they won't have a Patriot kind of January and February because they won't make it that far.
8 giveaways last 2 games. The good news is they won both games. Morris again, nothing inside, swings outside, flag down as Morris is knocked out of bounds at the 17 by Chad Scott, the corner.
Holding offense, number 81.
Randy McMichael, the tight end.
He ran into me, Alex. 10-yard penalty.
The old
Repeat second down.
Yeah, you going to believe me, ref, or your lying eyes?
Yeah, did you? I know it was rare that you ever made any errors on the field, and now and then maybe a hold. But did you know it when you did it, or is it always a surprise?
When you've got as they say, a little bit too good of a grasp on your technique, you know when you're going to get it.
Yeah, right.
The hands
you don't
get us.
always get it, but you know
You never
deserve
admit it.
Yeah, right. So back to the 32 and 2nd and long for Harrington. Steps up and throw. Oh, nobody there because he was knocked down. A flag goes with it. Marty Booker didn't have a chance because he was drilled by Chad Scott, the veteran corner from Maryland, who gets the start today in favor of Ellis Hobbs out with a broken wrist.
Defensive pass interference, number 30. Spot foul, automatic first down.
So another first down by penalty for the Miami Dolphins.
And Joey Harrington's looking to do a little business against Chad Scott. It was just clearly a case of the receiver going out of his way to stop in his route to make a break, and that's when Scott came over the top. Booker just stopped as he pivoted, and anticipating him to keep moving, he just ran right through him.
So first down on the penalty at the 18. Travis Minor makes his first appearance at running back today. Good pass receiver. They give him the running game, and he's able to get a yard, maybe two. Teddy Bruschi all over the play.
Well, if you're going to try to run on a regular basis, you're going to have a difficult time, Dick, with these inside linebackers like, Bruschi and Vrabel now in for Junior Seau, Tully Benta Canes on the outside when they're in that 3-4. But it's all about Richard Seymour and Vince Wilfork and Ty Warren and that defensive line and what they can do to a running attack. They can literally just stop it.
Ranked 3rd on defense, and you saw only allowing a couple of touchdowns in the red zone and only 14 touchdowns all season, this Patriot defense. Harrington throwing deep and way over the end zone to avoid a possible pick. Marty Booker was there.
See, what you see there in that play, not much pressure, but nobody down the field. That's one of those plays we talked about in that crosstalk thing about sometimes kicking's okay. Don't take a dumb chance and really cost yourself 3 points. You got a chance to get a field goal here and put New England kind of behind it right here. Don't do something dumb with the ball if you're Joey Harrington.
Less than 50% touchdowns for the Dolphins in the red zone. They're working into the wind. Final seconds, opening quarter. Harrington has to throw this one away. Chambers was out of bounds. You saw the official throw his hat to indicate that, so he was not an eligible receiver unless the ball was touched by someone else. And out comes the field goal unit.
And as good as the defense has been at times for the Dolphins, their offense has been Well, equally on the other side of the ledger, just not very good, especially when they get in the red zone, gold zone, green zone, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of a no-go zone for this offense scoring touchdowns.
Murray has missed 10 times this year, more than anyone in the NFL, but in fairness to him, 5 of those misses were from 50 yards or more. This is 35 yards, and he plays the wind. He knows it well. And the Dolphins pick up 3 off the forced fumble that was recovered at the 39-yard line in Patriot territory. Murray and Miami make it 3-0. And welcome back to Dolphin Stadium. A reminder, why don't you vote on the greatest Super Bowl team of all time? What do you think? Log on to NFL.com/America's Game and vote now for your choice. Kickoff by Murray. Kevin Falk, the all-time returner. He spins his way out of the end zone, leaps across the 25, and is close to the 30. As he now has gone over 3,800 yards in kickoff returns. But on a fumble, Miami gets a field goal and leads it here in the first quarter.
You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. And by Sprint. Be a better fan with NFL Mobile, only from Sprint. Power up.
And welcome back as the New England Patriots have the ball, 29-yard line, trailing 3-0, final seconds. First quarter, Brady to throw. Underneath, complete and immediate hit. Daniel Graham is drilled by Zach Thomas. Who else? Thomas again the leading tackler for the Dolphins. 116 coming in. A 160th game for him. No Dolphin defensive player has ever seen that much duty. He broke Vern Den Herder's mark at 159. End of the first quarter. 3-0 Miami. Will return after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Who will be here in early February Super Bowl 41? The MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 will, providing today's aerial coverage of the game. Blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year, covering sporting events and television specials throughout the good old US of A. As we move to the second quarter, a quick look at the playoff picture in the AFC with those of the division leaders, 7-5, Cincinnati and the Jets, along with Jacksonville, Kansas City, Denver. It's a tight scramble for the precious 2 wild card spots as we head down the stretch in December.
It's going to take 10 wins.
Flag down, no play.
I don't think it's going to be real dissimilar from last year, Dick, where Kansas City won 10 games and had to sit at
False start
home.
offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Riche Caldwell, a little itchy off the line of scrimmage.
You know, Nick Saban knows full well that this is a very unusual offense. Bill Belichick has spent a lot of time, he and Scott Pioli, his personnel man, building up that tight end position. And they've got 2 excellent tight ends in Graham and Watson. And having a tight end based offense this year, which is really what this is, I mean, not only passing but running wise, makes them a whole different team to kind of try to defend.
That's a look at Watson, who was 2 years behind Randy McMichael, the tight end for the Dolphins. They played as teammates at Georgia. Keith Evans and Kevin Falk with Brady, who looked long and goes long the other way. Incomplete, intended for Jabbar Gaffney. And running stride for stride with him was Andre Goodman. 3-0 here in Miami. Let's go to New York and JB.
Hey, Dick, Cincinnati firmly with the postseason in his sights, starting off fast. Take a look at Rudy Johnson, picking, slicing his way 9 yards to pay dirt. That capped an 8-play, 59-yard drive, 14-0 Bengals over the Raiders. Dick and Randy.
All right, thank you, JB. And the Bengals appear to be putting all the pieces together at just the right time, starting today at 7-5. 3rd and 12 for Brady in the shotgun. Down the middle. Almost intercepted by Zach Thomas. Thomas, who has a knack for being in the right place. He's got 1 interception this year, 17 in his career, 4 touchdowns for Zach. Benjamin Watson was the closest blue shirt.
Hey, you watch at the top of the screen as you'll see a diving Zach Thomas just poaching in there. That was, Tom Brady, when he comes to Miami and faces this defense, and sometimes it's the pressure of Jason Taylor and sometimes it's the poaching of Zach Thomas, but he doesn't play like the normal Tom Brady in this stadium.
Ken Walter sends his kick into the wind to Wes Welker at the 26. Ooh, as he stays on his feet and still going. 35-40. Oh, what an effort by Wes Welker. They pinballed him and he just kept going forward. Oh my.
Ladies and gentlemen, to do this job, Wes Welker has just got to be a little bit, no, not a little bit, he's got to be a half nuts. And you can't be coached that. That is just an innate ability, and he's had it since high school. He said, hey, I had 8 or so returns of kicks for touchdowns in high school. He had the same thing at Texas Tech, and man, he's a one-man field position machine for the Dolphins.
5'9", 185, and it's all courage of nails. He must eat them for breakfast the way he plays. From the 40, and it's Darian Barnes, who has not carried the ball all season long, gets a chance. No, it is not him. It's Sammy Morris. Barnes leading in front of him. Barnes is the fullback. Gain of a couple for Morris. Both teams are playing today without their leading rusher. Ronnie Brown is out with a hand fracture, and Lawrence Maroney, the very talented rookie out of Minnesota, not available for Bill Belichick. Quick throw is complete over the middle. Randy McMichael, the tight end, and he's all the way to the New England 40. James Sanders finally with the tackle.
This is what set up Randy McMichael in his play. Watch this from the Patriots defense. Empty backfield means attack. No running back with Joey Harrington back there. They're going to blitz and attack and try to get there first, and they weren't able to get there first. Great read by Joey, flipping that ball out there to McMichael.
17 yards on the play. McMichael's 47th catch of the year. Now to Morris. He's met immediately, may have burrowed for a yard. Good thrust by that defensive front of New England.
I know fans get frustrated of several teams in this league that, when you run and don't get anything, and they'll habitually do that. Well, what are they thinking? Well, it's a testament to the coaches and they're patient that they're willing to stay with the run, because Nick Saban's offense has to stay faithful to the run against this defense. If they throw the every down, they are toast.
Saban, a lieutenant under Belichick back in the 90s when Bill Belichick was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. They know each other's game well. Morris. And again, not much. Down to about the 38, maybe the 37. Of all the superlatives statistically that you could throw at the New England defense of Bill Belichick, this is the one that stands out for me. The entire season, the Patriots defense against the rush has allowed one run of more than 20 yards. 21 by Tatum Bell. 1 of 20 yards all season long.
Another catchword besides balance and versatility is discipline. It's a very disciplined defense. They are always fitting in their gaps. They're always in the right spot. That's why you haven't seen long runs.
3rd down and long. 3rd and 6. Harrington. Good protection. Now he throws deep down the sidelines. Open is Chambers, but the pass is too tall. And any passes deep down the sidelines are going to be tough to control for the quarterbacks because of the swirling winds today.
Well, you have to allow for it, because if you put air under the ball, air will stay under the ball for longer than you want. Which I guess is another way of saying exactly what you just said. But, Joey's trying to drop that thing in over the top, and there's no drop on that pass. That nose never comes down.
And the immensely talented Chambers, who can leap up in one-hand balls, just couldn't get that one. Troy Brown back at the 10 as Donnie Jones to punt it. Second time today that Patriots inside the 40, and look at that punt by Jones, and he repeats what he did the first time. Drops it down inside the 5, well covered by his teammates. Sammy Morris, in fact, downfield to down the ball. 11:41 left in the opening half here in Miami, where the Patriots trail by a field goal. Neither team able to move the ball that well, but Miami continues to pin New England deep. Average starting position 17, a plus 22 to Miami. Handoff in the end zone to Corey Dillon. Has a hole off right tackle and is out to the 11-yard line before he's tripped up after a 7-yard gain by Will Allen. How about Tom Brady? Pressure him like any quarterback. He is human.
Well, we started the game talking about his Decembers to remember, and you just also have to remember that when Brady and this offense has come down to South Florida, they have struggled against this offense. And Jason Taylor says, you know, we'll get Tom Brady yelling. We'll get Tom Brady frustrated. That's why he struggles down here.
Back to Dillon. He has the first down and more out to the 18-yard line. Ronaldo Hill, the safety, with a tackle. Hurried a couple of times, knocked down twice. Tom Brady, who has thrown 9 for 13 passing, and that's the record. He's only 2-3 down here in South Florida, and 9 TDs, 8 interceptions. That is very unlike Brady.
And half those interceptions, 4, were 2 years ago. The last time the Patriots lost on the road in the AFC East was down here in Miami against the Dolphins, 2004 November.
Fakes to Dillon this time, and then dumps it underneath, but nothing much there at all as he goes right back to Dillon and Zach Thomas. You don't slicker that middle linebacker off, and he was right there to make the play after a short gain, just 1 yard. Well, the 12 deals of Christmas are going on now, folks, at the CBS Sports Store. Here's what you can do. Save 25% on gifts for the sports fan on your list. Click on SHOP Shop at CBSSportsline.com.
Do you sing that song to the same one, the 12 Deals of Christmas? Or?
All I know is my wife has taught me about that other word, SHOP. Shop. Brady throws it away, and that was good coverage over here on the corner as Andre Goodman was all over Riche Caldwell, and Brady wisely fired it away.
Yeah. A lot of young quarterbacks could learn from watching a guy like Brady and how he handles those types of situations. Illegal contact defensively, so it's going to be an automatic first down.
That was on the other side of the field, Will Allen.
But watching Brady handle those situations and throw it out of bounds. I mean, for instance, Joey Harrington. Last week at the end of the first half, Harrington threw an interception that came back to really haunt him because it turned into a touchdown for Jacksonville. You know, sometimes it's better to hit the guy in the first row. You know, see if he can land one in his popcorn instead of trying to fit it into a tight spot.
Just don't mess with his drink.
Well, I didn't say really something.
Right. Handoff is to Patrick Pass, and his first call of the day, the 7-year veteran out of Georgia, who has carried the ball now for the 4th time this season. Well, a couple of punts and a fumble, and the fumble led to Miami's 3 points.
When Dolphin fans look back at this whole era, you know, the early 2000s and the late 1990s, they're really going to remember fondly. And in the Ring of Honor here in Miami will be a 99 and a 54. Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor have made this franchise defense for the last decade.
Brothers-in-law. Here's Dillon, nothing inside. How quickly he adjusts to the wing and makes the corner. Big man can rumble out there, and he's got first down all the way to the 47-yard line. Ronaldo Hill finally pushed him out of bounds.
Watch Jason Taylor here, Dick. He doesn't keep contained. He makes a mistake and gets up the field, and Corey's able to get outside and get that edge. And yeah, it's one thing you forget about Corey Dillon. He still has a little speed and wiggle to him. He's not just a bulldozer. He's got a couple of horsepower left in that engine.
225-pounder. The Rock has been his nickname since Pee Wee football. Brady. Incomplete. Troy Brown won't miss many of those. A tough running catch, but it was on his hands.
You really sense that this Miami defense, especially the back 7, back 6 on some occasions, has really done an excellent job so far today of staying with the receivers. You know, for the Jason Taylors rushing and the Zach Thomas making the tackles and stuff, they really, the defensive backs and the linebackers in their coverage have done a great job of making Brady fit it into very tight spaces.
And he's averaged on his completions only 4.9 yards. 10 completions, 49 yards. He's hit and down he goes. Penetration coming from Matt Roth, the second-year defensive end from Iowa, and Vonnie Holliday, the defensive tackle.
Now, if you're chopping up sacks, here's how you chop this one up. It's not all one way. Vonnie Holliday will come from the left side of your screen, and he'll get the first half a sack. There's Vonnie, there's half. There's the other half with Roth finishing up high.
Well, assuming you're correct, then Roth would have 2.5 on the year, and Vonnie Holliday moves up to 7 sacks for the season, this former North Carolina star. Big play by the defense again, brings up 3rd and 21 for Brady. Hands off on the draw to Kevin Falk, and he gets to the 45-yard line, well short of the first down, and the punting team will be called to duty for New England.
See, now it's the Patriots' chance to see if they can pin Miami back a little bit. That's the key. When you get into a game like this, it turns into a field position game. You need a couple of these first downs to sort of spin the tables. And if you've got a defense like New England's, you want this Dolphin offense pinned back deep inside the 10-yard line.
Wes Welker drifts back inside the 15. He's an adventure on every punt. Ken Walter. A kick from the 35. Flag down. High kick that Welker will let go this time, and it's a good bounce for New England, and they down it at about the 3. Willie Andrews down there to do the job for Walter. Now let's check the penalty.
Oh, that was an awful quick flag. That had to either be somebody lined up offsides or was a quick twitch in motion.
And a lot of New
Illegal
England fans.
formation on the kicking team. Number 35 was not on the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Nick Saban says make him kick it again. As Patrick Pass guilty.
Well, look at Patrick Pass lined up right there at kind of the right tackle. He's got that cockeyed stance, and he's not on the line of scrimmage. That helmet is not within the body frame of the guy next to him, so they counted him as a guy in the backfield.
Even in a punt formation, you have to have 7 on that line of scrimmage.
And that was gigantic, needless to say. When you're able to pin back like that, this offense, Wes Welker now will have an opportunity to probably catch this punt.
Or maybe return it against a tired group of men running downfield.
Well, he'll catch it. We know he'll catch it.
This one's much shorter, a wobbler. Welker, fair catch at the 18. So about a 15-yard gain on the different of the 2 punts. As we go to commercial, back row, Don Shula, Bob Greasy. Oh, my. Great art exhibition. Art Basel here at Miami Beach Convention Center, currently on display.
Were you over there shopping this weekend?
That's a little out of my league, but boy, I sure wish I had the coins to do it. Arrington throws on first down, complete to Marty Booker, and Booker out of bounds at the 29-yard line. That'll be a first down for the Dolphins as we've moved under 7 minutes remaining in this opening half. Fast-moving half.
It's a really fast-moving, really fast-paced game, Dick. It's a field position game, and the other thing that stands out to me is the stark contrast in Joey Harrington and Nick Saban's offense when they get that ball out of his hand quickly. I mean, make it fast, crisp. If you hold that ball against this defense, you will get munched.
24 drives inside their own 20 started by the Dolphins and only 2 touchdowns. So they've not been able to sustain the big drive. The throw is low to Welker, and it's incomplete as he trapped the ball. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB and all the guys will have the big highlights and the latest scores for you around the NFL coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Well, these next couple weeks, this is like yeah but Sundays with all these different formulas for playoffs. So and so will clinch if so and so wins and the other guy ties. And
yeah, I know you've been studying. You'll have all that.
Oh, of course.
McMichael open over the middle, and he's out to the 38, just shy of the first down. And speaking of those yeah buts, here's some evidence at least for someone from JB.
Hey, Dick, take a look here. Off of a Jacksonville turnover, Indy makes them pay here. A 1-yard run. That capped a 12-play, 80-yard drive. It's 10-7. Colts back on top. Dick Enberg, Randy Cross.
All right, JB, and of course those two teams play each other so tough. And Indianapolis clinches the division with a win today. Harrington, quick throw underneath to Booker, and Booker gets short yardage. Didn't need much on third down, and looks as if he has close to the first down. We won't commit yet, but we will go to New York.
Fellas, take a look here. Guess who's at quarterback? Chris Winkie. Talk about former Heisman Trophy winner. Going up top to Drew Carter, 36-yard strike. It is now 10-7. Giants capping a 4-play, 78-yard drive. Dick and Randy.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams at 6-6 battling in the contentious NFC. Mediocre is good at this stage at 6-6. Harrington throws the sidelines to Welker, and he's met immediately on the tackle by Asante Samuel. And what a year for Samuel, with 7 interceptions in the last 7 games to tie Rashean Mathis, the Jacksonville corner, for the NFL lead in picks. 7 interceptions for him. The entire Miami defense has 8.
I love the glint in his eye when you said, well, what combination? Some interceptions are lucky, and some interceptions happen because you're in the right place, and some well, one was tipped, but I think the other 6 were really good plays.
And he's right. Sammy Morris, the running back, second down. The throw by Harrington, and a little push off by Booker, but no flag, and he doesn't catch it anyway against Asante Samuel. That'll bring up 3rd and long. This year, week 5, Miami at New England, and Brady threw for 2 touchdowns. Joey Harrington, in his first start of the season, was picked off twice by, there's the deflected one of the 7. Asante Samuel. Patriots won it 20-10.
And what he's really bought into the whole philosophy of this defense. The Seymours and McGinnis when he was here, and Teddy Bruschi and Vrabel. He studies so well. He knows what the offense is trying to do to him.
Shotgun 3rd and 11. Harrington steps away from pressure, throws behind Marty Booker, who is cutting across the middle. Asante Samuel covering, and the punt team out with 4:22 left in the half.
Now, Joey Harrington's very lucky he didn't throw that ball to Marty Booker, because Asante Samuel was getting ready to cut underneath and would either knock that ball down or would have intercepted it if he actually tried to complete that at his receiver.
Boy, ball reaction for a defensive back, and it's such a talent, and he has it with A grades this year. Donnie Jones with Falk and Brown stacked up to return. A wobbler toward the sideline. Falk not much there, but gets it to the 27-yard line. Will the Patriots be able to muster an offensive drive? 4:13 before the intermission. Welcome back. All of us at CBS want to pass along our condolences to the family of retired CBS director Bob Daly, who passed away yesterday. Daly worked for CBS starting in the 1950s, and what a storied career. He started as a cameraman on the Arthur Godfrey, Jackie Gleason, Ed Sullivan shows, and Edwin R. Murrow asked Daly to be the director on the person-to-person telecasts. Before retiring here to South Florida, Daly with all those credits at CBS. He was 83. Brady under pressure, able to step away and throw incomplete at the 35-yard line, far sidelines. Trying to hit Riche Caldwell. Good job by Brady. That was a terrific example of a quarterback with that pocket presence, knowing where the pressure was.
Well, you're going to get blitz coming and rush coming all over the place, and watch the pocket collapse. But the calm and the cool. I mean, if you're a young quarterback, you want to know how you're supposed to act in the pocket. Case in point, right there. That is exactly how you let a pass rush not affect you.
I thought I was seeing Dan Marino there for a moment. You're in Miami. Handed off inside, and a good run here by Dillon, who gets it out to the 34-yard line, and the clock ticks. Under 4 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, which way did he go, guys? Which way did he go? Jason Taylor, one time Corey Dillon went by him on the outside. That time Corey Dillon goes by him on the inside.
That's a good open field tackle by Travis Daniels to deny Dillon what would have appeared to be a first down run. Instead, 3rd down and 3. Brady shotgun, Falk with him. Under pressure throws, complete. Troy Brown, 40, 50, and to the 45 of Miami. Listen to the New England fans here today. There's several thousand.
Well, that was an excellent job. We talk about the cool and calm of Brady in the pocket. He got hammered pretty good. You know, Copeland and that offensive line protected as much as they could, and then right at the very end, Jason Taylor comes around on a stunt and puts a hit on him, but that's how you buy the time to allow a Brown to come that far across the field that late in a play and be able to make that kind of a play.
Yeah, the Dolphin defense commenting on how Troy Brown, the KG veteran, how he zigzags into patterns.
We know what he's going to run, but you usually don't stop him.
Brady gets away from pressure again. Now throws the ball down the field incomplete. That just to get rid of it, as again there were white jerseys all around him, and the officials checking to make sure that he was not still in the pocket when he threw that ball away.
No, he had scooched a little bit to the left. That wasn't really a scramble. It's, you know, and Jason Taylor right at the very end is who gets in there and puts a little kibosh on him. But
it's a kibosh.
It's a kibosh before he hit that divot in its stride about the 15-yard line.
I thought that's what you had with a bun up in Milwaukee, a kibosh. Here's the handoff to Kevin Falk to the 43-yard line, and clock runs to 2:35. Vonnie Holliday, the tackler.
Right now, this game almost seems like a matchup of two really good boxers. They're sort of trading punches. Miami is attacking, and they're attacking Miami and New England in some pretty obvious spots, but they're counterpunching from the other side just well enough to keep moving this ball.
Big 3rd and 7. Brady shotgun. Falk with him. Shifts to the right side. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 tight ends to the left, and Brady is going to call a time at the 2:06 mark remaining in this first half. The Patriots down by a field goal.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Izod and by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Ominous looking aircraft, cargo plane, military here in Miami. The Patriots at the 43. This is their deepest penetration of the entire half. It's 3rd down and 7 for Brady. 2:06 left in the half. Same formation as they had deployed before Brady called time. Down the middle. Incomplete to Kevin Falk. And pressure again, and Brady and Jason Taylor have communicated and visited more often than most.
Well, that's exactly what Jason Taylor talked about on Friday when we sat down with him. Was we have that effect on Tom Brady. He says we have no delusions. He's the best quarterback in the league, but when he plays us, we're able to pressure him. We frustrate him a little bit, and we love to see him start to yell. When he yells, we know we got him a little bit flustered.
Meaning yelling at his teammates.
Yes.
Ken Walter to punt it. Straight up in the air. Welker moves up to fair catch it in a crowd of Patriots at the 23-yard line. Well, the former Michigan star Tom Brady reasoned spout here in the first half. And we're going to see the Sprint halftime report with JB and company, all the latest scores and highlights. There's a highlight film in action. Jason Taylor of the Dolphins. So stay tuned. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. A lot of you fans up in New York pleased with the effort defensively by the Dolphins against New England, as the Jets 2 games off the Patriots' pace in the AFC East. Handed off on the draw play to Morris, and Morris able to get out to about the 28 and the gain of 5.
That last play with Jason Taylor in the pressure, he just draws a bead straight through Kazir, the right tackle, who's got 60 pounds on him, gets his legs straight. That's a classic move on an offensive lineman. You get his legs straightened, his weight out over his feet, and you give him a quick yank, and you're by him.
Dolphins may be content to stay on the ground here, although Harrington now in the shotgun on 2nd down and 4. Morris with him. Quick throw to Morris, a little middle screen, and Morris weaves his way out to the 40-yard line, and with second effort, another first down. Artrell Hawkins in the secondary for New England made the tackle.
Dick, remember last week against Jacksonville, this was the part of the game right at the end of the first half, driving the ball, moving it down into the other team's territory where the mistake was made. Joey Harrington threw a pass that he really had no business not throwing into the stands.
47 seconds, clock running, the throw to the sidelines, complete. Leaping catch by Marty Booker. And Chad Scott, the veteran on the corner, covering first down, but all the good things for Miami, first down and stop the clock.
You know, you're probably right now, I'd say 15 yards, about the 30-yard line is the outer limits. I'd probably say about the 25-yard line for Amari field goal going in this direction, because this is where most of the wind is affecting the play. But you know, they're willing to say when they play Miami, New England, that hey, we'll be patient. We'll see if they can handle themselves in this situation.
Welker, who's leading the Dolphins in catches this year, in motion. Harrington runs for the sidelines for cover and stop the clock at 32 seconds. Chad Scott there to make sure he didn't head upfield.
Now, there's a great example, Dick. Maybe a little progress. Talk about Joey Harrington getting back his confidence, getting back a little bit of swagger that he lost in Detroit. Well, he's maybe gotten back a few QB brain cells too, because there's a case where a frustrated quarterback, an inexperienced quarterback, might try to make something happen and not just be willing to run and get the ball out of bounds and stop the clock.
Lindo Mari, longest this year is 52. 32 seconds left. Second down and 6. Shovel pass complete to Randy McMichael. McMichael belts his way down the sidelines, and flag is down as well as Wilfork hit Harrington, and Harrington limping as he comes up.
Well, and this is going to be against Wilfork. It's going to be roughing the quarterback, I think.
Personal foul, number 75, roughing the quarterback with a low hit. We're going to add 15 yards to the end of the run.
So that's going to take it into field goal range, the 15 yards. But how seriously injured is Harrington?
He's already thrown the ball and then just sort of a late stumble over. That wasn't a hit. What is he? Is he a soccer player? You don't usually see that, but in the Premier League over in Europe, that's a little bit of a that's an Emmy Award winner there.
But he did get injured apparently on the play. Not that Wilfork there was any intent. He was down on the ground, and now Chambers injured on the last play, the outstanding wide receiver. And here's Harrington limping off the field, and Chambers being attended to on the sidelines.
Chambers is trying to block on the sideline. That's the classic situation we saw a few weeks ago. Colston, the young wide receiver from New England, getting that high ankle sprain trying to block, and you get people piling up on the back of your legs. Offensive linemen are very familiar with that position. That happens on a regular basis.
With the penalty, the line of scrimmage now is the 23.
Because of the injury to the Miami player in the sideline, they are charged with their first team timeout.
Timeout. Larry Nemmers, our man in the white hat today, and that allows Chambers then to come back for the next play. Chris Chambers from Wisconsin, where he and Lee Evans, how did you stop those two guys? And he has produced some of the most spectacular catches seen in these parts in some years.
He's very good getting off the ground, and he's one of the better perimeter boundary receivers in this league. He really has amazingly long arms and good hands. And now that you're in field goal range, I mean, you're 2 yards inside of field goal range, I think Joey Harrington, you got to take shots into the end zone.
Be greedy.
Why not? Why not? Right
5
here.
and 7.
You've got 22 seconds left, at least 1 or 2.
First down, and 22 seconds for the Dolphins, who lead 3-0 end of the half. Harrington does go to the deep sidelines, was incomplete to Chambers. I'm not sure that he caught it would have been in bounds. Asante Samuel, he is the blanket man for Bill Belichick.
Well, at least for 29 minutes and 34 seconds. They've done a very nice job with Wes Welker out of that slot. You mentioned earlier, the defense for the New England Patriots has found a way to do something not many teams have done, and that's basically neutralize the slot receiver in this offense.
One catch for a -1 for Welker, who started with 58 catches to lead the Dolphins this year. And Patriots are especially stingy at the end of the half, as you saw. Second down. Harrington goes deep and throws it away. Chambers was in the area. And that takes the clock to 10 seconds. So time for another play. And if they're judicious about it, they can play in the middle of the field because they have a timeout to use, get a field goal team out.
I mean, you'd like to get a chance. Well, as Roosevelt Colvin just, Rosie kind of falls at the feet of Joey Harrington. They didn't call that one.
Acting wasn't good.
Not quite as good, I guess.
Murray, a 35-yard field goal, the only scoring of this first half, and Harrington will spend his second timeout. 3-0 just before the half. Back in South Florida, the house that Joe Robbie built 20 years ago. One timeout left for Nick Saban's Dolphins. Okay, Coach Cross, what do you call him here?
I guess some people would say, let's throw it down into the end zone, take a shot at a touchdown. You know, if I'm Dean Pease and the defensive staff for New England and Bill Belichick, I'm not sure if I don't figure they're going to run the ball here. Run it back, get the ball into the middle of the field. You got a timeout. Set up Murray in a better position. Don't risk an interception.
That's exactly what they do. They hand off to Morris, and Morris with a solid gain and a quick timeout with 3 seconds left before the half. So that'll make Murray happier. He'll just closer to those uprights. On what should be, if there is no penalty, the last play of the first half. Murray from 33 yards, his earlier field goal 35, into a tricky win. And he's right down the middle. That's a good way to go to the locker room. A nice drive, end of the half. Murray converts, and Saban's Dolphins have a 6-0 advantage. We'll be back with a Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint halftime report. Sprint together with Nextel. Power up.
And welcome to the Sprint halftime report here in New York, Studio 43. I'm James Brown, along with my guys, Dan Shannon and Bomer. Let's get you caught up on first half action around the National Football League. Starting first, Baltimore and KC.
Play fake here. Pass Derek Mason on the sideline. 21-yard pickup would lead to a field goal, 3-0. The Ravens are doing a great job on Trent Greens. 5 of 13, 58 yards, 2 pick. Here's the first one by Ed Reed. The ball hawk as he picks this ball up and heads up the other way. Tackled by Brian Waters. This would lead to another field goal, 6-0, and that's where we are at the half, JB, 6-0.
Chiefs have won 18 straight home games played in December, Shannon. Let's go to Oakland and Cincinnati. Boomer.
All right, Carson Palmer, 10 of 15 on the day, 134 yards, and this touchdown pass to Chris Henry, 2 interceptions. Rudy Johnson, 16 attempts, 60 yards, 1 touchdown on the ground, and here it comes. And the Oakland Raiders tack on a field goal right before halftime, 14-3, Cincinnati Bengals in the lead.
Rudy Johnson, 63 yards shy of 1,000 rush yards for his 3rd straight year. Dan, Colts, Jaguars.
And the Colts are getting run over on the first play. Fred Taylor, he goes 76 yards. On the next play, here's Maurice Jones-Drew. He goes 18 yards, 2-play drive, 98 yards, a touchdown for Jacksonville. Then Dominic Rhodes, he gets a 3-point lead there for Indianapolis on that play. And then, here you go. Fred Taylor. He goes 21 yards. Fred Taylor in the first half, 128 yards rushing.
This is pathetic.
Wow, look at this.
Can anybody tackle?
Maurice Jones-Drew, 48 yards. Touchdown right here. Total yards rushing, 248.
Say that again.
248 yards rushing. Wow.
Wow, in the first half.
The Colts defense, they have that drug problem. They're getting drug up down one side of the field, drug back down the other side of the field.
Wow, big time trouble.
They are in trouble. There's no question they're in trouble. Rich Gannon said it on the pregame show today. He said, listen, if you can't stop the run, you cannot win a Super Bowl in this league. We all know that. and this is obviously what's showing itself today in Jacksonville.
The average giving up 160. They're already at 88 yards over that just in the first half. They're not protecting Peyton, and so now they're in really trouble. If you can't, this is not something that you just fix all of a sudden and say, you know what, guys, we're going to fix our run problem. You don't do that, JB. They're in trouble.
They got to go to rehab.
Trouble.
You said the halftime talk cannot be what now?
Hey, come on, guys, let's pick it up.
And here comes Ben Chung. He's back home in Houston. Remember, he played at the University of Texas. He runs down the sideline for 27 yards.
Yeah, let's pick it up all right.
No score. That's right. Nothing much can happen here today. Here's Ron Dayne. He's still in the league, guys. Remember him? Ron Dayne, 1-yard touchdown run, 7-6. Houston Texans over the Tennessee Titans at halftime.
Titans have won 3 straight, the last 2 in dramatic fashion. Dan, let's talk Patriots and Dolphins.
Well, right here you got, Corey Dillon. He busted outside. The Dolphins are usually pretty good against the run. It's a 17-yard run for Corey Dillon. Tom Brady back to pass. The Dolphins have been putting pressure on Tom Brady. This is a sack right here by Vonnie Holiday and Jason Taylor. He's trying to get his guys going. Maybe he's yelling at them linemen, man. Give me some time to throw it, Tom Brady.
6-0 to score there. Matter of fact, is that score the same there with the Falcons and the Bucs, Shannon?
Yep, Bruce Gradkowski middle screen to Michael Pittman, 25 yards, first down, lead to a field goal, 3-0 Tampa. Michael Vick drops back to pass. He's going to be sacked by Ronnie Lawson, Ryan Neese. And here, Mike Vick going for it all. Picked off Phillip Buchanan in the end zone. 6-0, identical score to what you had, Dano.
Sometimes coaches have to overcome playmaking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good line, Boomer. Giants, Panthers, Boomer.
All right, how about Eli Manning and Plaxico Burress? Finally, let's hook up here, fellas, and that's exactly what happens. Nice catch by Plax. He comes down with the touchdown. Here comes Chris Wanke.
Who?
Chris Wanke. To Drew Carter for a touchdown. 10-10. Giants are driving right now at the end of the second quarter.
Wow, might have to change his name. Dan, Eagles, Redskins.
The Eagles in that wild card hunt. Here comes Jeff Garcia. He drops back. L.J. Smith over the middle, wide open. That's a touchdown, putting them up 7-3. Then the ball bounces up in the air. Jason Campbell gets picked off by Michael Lewis. He goes down the sidelines 84 yards. That puts Philly up 14-3. Jeff Garcia then comes back, bootlegs right. Time to throw. Dante Stallworth. Touchdown, 21-3.
Not looking good. Eagles looking to sweep the Skins for the 4th time in the past 5 seasons. Shannon.
Cut by the Detroit Lions in camp. R2 Spinner. Second touchdown of the day. 14-0. Minnesota. Here, Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson's my age, JB, and I'm up here with you guys. Oh, he got in. 4-yard TD run. That was Bob on the PAT. Brad says, I want north. Jamal Fletcher said, no, you don't. I'm going the other way. And here he is. 88 yards for an INT return.
Look at that. Johnson should be up here with us.
Look at the official.
If he keeps going fast like that, he will.
The official stayed up with him. Did you see that?
No, I don't believe that.
It's pretty good.
But at least you don't have the AA.
When you can't score, you talk to yourself, and when you really can't score, you start shouting at those blockers. As it's been all defense in this first half, 6-0 on a pair of Mare field goals, 35 and 33 yards. And Jason Taylor living up to his reputation.
Really has. He's gotten a lot of help from Zach Thomas and Jeremiah Bell, but as far as putting pressure on, he has been all over this Patriots defense, and that is our offense. That's really been the story early. They have done what they talked about on Friday. They've been able to disrupt and frustrate Tom Brady in this offense, and it's been since week 3 against Denver that this Patriots team's been shut out in the half.
And look at no yards at all for either team to speak of. That one turnover resulted in the early field goal by Olindo Mare. And this second half will be brought to you as it was the first half in high definition on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41, right here at Dolphin Stadium. 75,000 seat facility. Taylor and the Dolphins with the smiles and ready to go to work. And they'll get a chance later because the offense will start first. Big kick all the way into the end zone where Wes Welker takes a knee. Stephen Gostkowski really drilled that one. So first down at the 20-yard line for Joey Harrington. Able to move the ball on that final drive to get a bonus field goal of 63 yards, the longest sustained drive of the entire half for either team.
See, it's all kicks. It's not bad when you end a drive with a kick. There's no turnovers in there, and there's no worries.
That was part of your crosstalk, wouldn't it?
Well, they're 0 for 2 in the red zone, but they're not pushing things. They're not making dumb mistakes.
And off to Morris, and Morris digs for about 3. Richard Seymour and others with the tackle. Sammy Morris from Texas Tech out of San Antonio, plans to attend the seminary someday. Told us that he wants to write a book, maybe even a play someday. Interesting young man, and he's saying full duty because Ronnie Brown, top rusher for the Dolphins this year, 783 yards and 5 touchdowns, sidelined for the 2nd straight week with a broken left hand.
I wonder if any part of his new book coming up will be something about working at SeaWorld next to Shamu's tank.
That's got to be a big check. Throws underneath that flanker screen to Marty Booker, and Booker, he's a tough runner at 6 feet and 210 for a wide receiver. In fact, the Patriots were talking about how strong he is, strong hands going with it.
Strong hands and long arms, and he has the ability to really carve through a defense, because you're surprised when you see Marty Booker and Chris Chambers in person. You're surprised, but they're not taller. You always kind of think of them as being 6'2", 6'3" receivers, and they're both in the 5'11", 6 foot kind of range, but they've got the arms of a 6'4" receiver.
And you saw the rangy Wes Welker at 5'9", if he's that. And the handoff to Morris, hit in the backfield. The Patriots all over that play, as charging through was Seymour, but Roosevelt Colvin was right in the hole to collaborate on the tackle.
This is staying dedicated to the run, even when it doesn't particularly work well, and that's a pretty good example of not working well. They're staying dedicated to it, though, because this is a field position game. Remember, the Patriots have averaged, I believe their first half average was at the 19-yard line as far as getting the ball back. So this plays right into it. Get another first down, punt the ball down, and make Tom Brady and company go more than 90 yards.
Not much of a running game, however, for Miami today. 2nd down and a dozen as Harrington retreats. Underneath, complete to McMichael, and a good open field tackle. Make it Chris Chambers with a catch, and the tackle by Artrell Hawkins.
Yeah, at times you almost think that the actual tackle in football is a lost art. Everyone's trying to blow guys up and hit them as hard as they can, and Artrell Hawkins, that's just a good old-fashioned through the guy and tackling his legs, and he goes no further. That's a form tackle. Nice job.
Yeah, that was indeed. And Chambers had some yardage to gain should Hawkins have missed on the hit. 3rd down and 9. Deep downfield, he's got a man open, Welker, but it's overshot. And a flag down. Might have gotten a little tug, did Welker, as he was springing free.
Just an illegal contact down the field, just enough to knock him off his stride.
Legal contact, defense number 25.
Artrell Hawkins.
Automatic first down.
He made the good tackle the last play, and then on that one,
not a bad tackle there either. Just didn't wrap him
may
up.
have saved a touchdown.
Yeah, he would have been, and that's just the old, hey, I'll fake him out, and I was going to come back, and then I go. It's a hitch and go, and there's a lot more go than hitch, but he would have been wide open if Hawkins hadn't hit him.
Yeah, he was already open and then thrown off stride. He might have been there in the spot for the catch. So the first down on the penalty at the 41-yard line.
That's a first down worth wasting. That's worth giving up if you're defensively.
Penalties 10 last week for 72 yards for New England, and a few today to the dismay of Belichick. Harrington scrambles out of the pocket to save the penalty and throws the ball away. Seymour again putting the pressure on from that defensive end spot.
There you go. I mean, that's throwing the ball away, and it's doing it against a defense that's sort of down. They're not out, but they are down. They've had some people missing from the lineup. You're missing a Rodney Harrison. You're missing such a physical presence.
How about Eugene Wilson? They're 2 starting safeties. Samuel missed 1 game. Hobbs out for a couple, and Randall Gay's gone for the year as well. They're backup.
And it's been a pattern. They've had 24 different defensive backs on this team since 04, just in 2 years.
It's amazing how they plug in players, including Troy Brown from the offensive side. The quick throws to Chambers, and he's rolled out of bounds at the 45-yard line, make it maybe the 44. So it's still 3rd and long for Harrington and the Dolphins.
But you're where you really wanted to be if you're Nick Saban and Joey Harrington in this offense. You've gotten that couple of first downs, one you earned, one they gave you with a penalty. But now if you don't make a first down here, you're looking at the ability to pin this Patriots offense back deep in their own territory again.
3rd down 7. It's Welker in motion. Sammy Morris, the running back. We look for Welker initially, then has to go underneath to the Marty Booker, and Booker hit immediately by Roosevelt Colvin. Good defensive play by Colvin. We saw some very sharp open field tackling on that sequence from the Patriots.
But that was, well, I'll say conservative, but it was good conservative. You know, there was nowhere to go downfield for Joey Harrington. He settled for the shot underneath, knowing that if I take the chance, I could turn it over. But now I give my kicker a chance to pin New England back.
Donnie Jones, who kicked at LSU, punting to Kevin Falk, who also played with the Bayou Tigers. Lets it bounce, and it will roll into the end zone for the touchback. Good decision made by Falk, who looks to the skies. New England about to get the ball for the first time in the second half. Back in Miami, and look at that score. Jaguars open a 31-10 lead against the Colts. Indianapolis on their way to losing 3 of the last 4. That has lots of implications as we look ahead to the playoffs, as Dillon on first down from the 20 able to bull his way for a couple.
And you know, Dick, if you're a Patriots fan, you're watching this and you see that score with Indianapolis walking backwards, you look at the records of these teams. I mean, you're not only talking about the home field advantage as far as number 1, those first 2 seeds get a week off. And how invaluable is that rest? I mean, I can't tell you personally, that makes all the difference in the world, having that extra week off when you go into the playoffs.
Fans that root for the Chargers also pretty pleased, as are the Baltimore Ravens fans, who have a 6-0 lead, just as Miami does here, and there's another sack. This time it comes from Kevin Carter, the other defensive end for the Miami Dolphins. He now has 5.5 sacks. Here's Carter in his 189th consecutive game.
Well, Jason Taylor gets double teamed, puts on the first pressure, and then Kevin Carter cleans up the rest of that sack. But it's all about coming from the left end and saying, hey, Jason flushes him, I got to do something with him once he steps up. And that goes to the defensive backfield too, Dick. That was wonderful coverage.
3rd down 11. Tight end Watson in motion, becomes the slot. And down the middle to Watson. Incomplete, and what a collision. Oh my, if they both get up after that, it'll be a miracle. Watson isn't up, but the Miami Dolphin tackler Jason Allen, the top draft pick out of Tennessee, is okay. Did he sacrifice his body on that hit?
Well, that makes Ben Watson basically a wide receiver. He can run like a wide receiver, and if you're going to run like a wide receiver, they're going to put you in positions like a wide receiver. And Tom Brady put that ball where Watson could get it, and Allen made sure he was distracted enough not to catch it.
We'll check on the condition of Watson when we return. 6-0 Miami.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Verizon Wireless. And by the all-new 7-passenger Acura MDX. Acura Advance.
Welcome back. 6-0 Miami. And for you Patriot fans, the good news is Benjamin Watson able to walk off under his own power. A scary hit. This is evidence once again that's not just a contact game, it's a collision game. 3rd down, 4th down, and 11. And so in to punt is Ken Walter. Welker back at the Dolphin 37, and kick is very short off the side of his foot. Welker on the run at the 50. What a gambler, and he takes it to the 43. That ball might have bounded end over end at 20 yards downfield for New England. Instead, Welker raced like a center fielder to take it, and it'll be good position for Miami when we return. Back in Miami, that 31-yard punt and 8-yard return by Welker. So the Dolphins excellent field position, their best since that fumble recovery at the 39 early in the first half. Morris burrows his way inside the Patriots 40-yard line. Ty Warren with the tackle, and much attention now being given to Benjamin Watson, working around his legs.
Well, you spend a lot of time on the ground after a hit like that, checking body parts, plural. I mean, legs, arms, heads, everything else.
And now another injury for the Patriots as we watch
Vince Wilfork
down, the big nose tackle. And this epidemic of injuries for the Patriots is incredible. I mean, how much bad luck can they get in that regard?
Well, it's bad enough they've suffered in the offseason with the coaches and the players they've lost. It seems to be a yearly thing that they lose players on the field too to injury.
As they attend to Wilfork, we're going to go to New York and an update with James Brown.
Hey, Dick, you mentioned the score. Here's the visual embellishment. Take a look here. Opening kickoff, third quarter for the Jags. Maurice Jones-Drew. Hey, Randy, Shannon Sharp said, can somebody just pinch him when he goes by? 93 yards to pay dirt. Jags are pouring it on. 31-10 back to Dick Enberg. Randy Cross.
Well, JB, tell Shannon there's an awful lot of legs to pinch if they want to pinch on Maurice Jones-Drew. He's about 5'6", 5'7", and 205 pounds, and about 180 of it's from the waist down.
What did we ask him? What the size of his thighs? He said around 40.
Yeah, I mean, he's
pretty
seriously
good waist size.
I guarantee you his thighs are at least 26 inches around each one.
Work on Wilfork and Watson on the sidelines, and now Harrington hands off inside, and no. Yeah, he was headed outside. I thought for a moment that they were going to try. That ball had been faked off because the wide receiver kept running deep, but the play was long over. Looked like that might have been the pitch back and the flea flicker.
Ronnie Brown with that cast on his left hand. You remember back on Thanksgiving Day against Detroit, he broke a bone in his hand, and they put a pin and some various other hardware in there to help secure the bone.
3rd down and 8. Dolphins are only 1 out of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Harrington. Deep down the sidelines overshoots Chambers. Well covered again. Samuel, boy, you draw Asante Samuel, you're not going to get many real open shots.
But Dick, this is another possession that ends in a kick that figures to give New England pretty bad field position. And you've seen Daniel Graham go down. Vince Wilfork went down. He's a big cog in the middle of that defense, and you're in a field position game, and you're New England. You've got no traction. Right now, this football team, especially offensively, those wheels are kind of spinning in the mud.
Here's Donnie Jones, the left footer, sends it toward Troy Brown, who let it bounce. And it stays in play. Another great kick by Jones. 3 punts inside the 5 today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Best Buy. Wrap up the wow this holiday season only at Best Buy. And by Chase Freedom. Finally, you can feel free to choose rewards points or choose cash back.
Exciting night for you Amazing Race fans. Tonight's the grand finale. Exciting race to the finish. Who's going to win the $1 million? Don't miss the Amazing Race tonight on CBS.
No cash prize, but this is going to be a pretty good race to the finish, too.
6-0 Miami from the 3. It's Dillon. No. Whistle sounds. Flag down before the snap. False start.
Wow.
False start, offense number 86. Half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
David Thomas is now playing tight end, the rookie from Texas, with the injury to Benjamin Watson. We tried to get added information on the injuries to Watson, the tight end, and to the nose tackle Wilfork, but none are forthcoming. As soon as they are offered, we will share it with you.
I believe they are referred to by the Patriots usually as lower body injuries.
1st and 12. Dillon out of his own end zone draws a crowd, but he's able to move the pile across the 5 to the 7. Running behind the block of Heath Evans, the fullback.
Normally average starting field position is a stat you can look at and say, well, that's pretty That's pretty telling. But it's almost deceiving in this game because the Patriots' average starting field position is the 17-yard line. But it seems every time they get the ball, they're on the 3.
It does. 3 times that's the case. Brady on 2nd and 7. Dillon, the running back. And it is the running back. He's met rudely by Jason Taylor. He doesn't just hit the passer. He was right there to drop Dillon, who's only about 10 pounds lighter than Taylor.
Jason Taylor coming right here. You know, in the local media in Miami, they said that Bill Belichick was kind of tossing around compliments, trying to inflate Jason Taylor's head by saying he thought that Jason Taylor was a 2006 defensive MVP. Maybe now they'll realize that he wasn't really kidding.
Belichick knows what he sees.
He knows horse flesh. Bill Belichick knows football talent.
Crowd comes to life. 3rd and 11. Dillon. And he's able to motor his way across the 10 to the 12. But that'll be short of the first down, and the Dolphins should get it back in good field position.
Talk about a tough physical run. Corey Dillon almost single-handedly that line, especially that middle of that line with Dan Copen and Neal and company really opened things up, but he almost got that first down single-handedly.
And that's the kind of running you see down on the goal line where he scored 10 touchdowns this year, and he's scored 36 touchdowns in 39 games as a Patriot.
Dick, this ball's going to hang up. Welker's going to get a chance to return this thing.
So Walter punts it and Welker to receive it. It's very short. And here he comes, 46. Whoop. He is something. Only gets about 4 or 5 yards on the return, but he's like trying to catch Jello. Pierre Woods made the stop. Back at the side of the upcoming Super Bowl 41. Dick Enberg and Randy Cross here in Miami. Once again at the 43 of New England. The Dolphins start play. Morris, the running back. Field goal is huge now with a 6-0 lead, and Morris finds a hole and darts through to the 35-yard line. He was close to something very big. Richard Seymour got a big paw out and tripped him up.
Real important for Sammy Morris to wait, and then go, because watch the blocking up front. Nice job by Rex Hadnot, the center, not only getting a piece of the block with the guard, but then getting Zach Thomas and opening up that hole. Remember, no Vince Wilfork. He's out of the game right now. Mike Wright's in there for him, and they're just going to go right at this defense. It's what you have to do in this instance.
That's the longest Miami run of the day, 8 yards. Back to Morris. Try it again. This time he goes a little wider and draws a huge crowd. They push him back just shy of the first down that would be up here. And we've got an update upcoming. Let's go to JB.
Hey, Dick and Randy, take a look at Baltimore here against Kansas City. Steve McNair, play action up top to Mark Clayton, 87 yards. Longest pass play for Baltimore this season. Longest of McNair's career, 13-0 Ravens on top of Kansas City. Back to Dick and Randy.
All right, thank you, JB. So the Ravens calling in KC.
A lot of wild card smiles going around to the NFL.
Remember, they have the advantage head-to-head over the San Diego Chargers, having beaten them earlier in the year. And once again, it's Morris trying to thick of that defense of the Patriots with nothing there. Ty Warren, 300-pound defensive end, able to block his passage.
It's going to be close. They're going to measure it. Set up a heck of a decision if you're Nick Saban, because this will mean Olindo Mare about 52, 53-yard field goal if they want to try it. Because that defense for New England really seals up. Initially, there looks to be a hole, but that entire side just decides that they're not having any of that. Ty Warren does a wonderful job of filling it up and stuffing that run.
They don't even need to measure. You can see it's about a half-yard shy.
I think you go for it. You know? You think that?
I think they are. Here comes Booker out of the lineup. They bring in a tight end. Murray, they don't cheer now, but these are New England fans rooting for their defense as well.
This will go over the...
Morris has the first down as he fights his way to the 32-yard line. Good quick snap on the quick count. And Ronnie Brown said, "Attaboy, Sammy," who's filling in for the injured Brown and doing the yeoman work on the ground.
Yeah, when you're like Ronnie Brown, you got the cast on. All 5 fingers can point when you point first down. And that was just a wonderful job because I think it really surprised New England because I really thought they'd go over L.J. Shelton in that right side. And Vernon Carey.
All right, Travis Minor now in for Morris at running back. Fake to him. Harrington outside, now throws deep toward the end zone. Touchdown, Booker! Marty Booker fought off the defender, and that's the first TD of the game.
Well, Joey Harrington, I think Dick was as patient as he was going to be. He was going to take his chance, and Marty Booker rewarded him because that was some serious hands. Because Scott and Hawkins were right there, and he just wanted that ball more than the defenders. Look at the way this ball fits in. Great concentration by Marty Booker, and an excellent fit throw by Joey Harrington.
High snap, but the spot is good, and Murray adds the extra point. But those strong hands we talked about, Marty Booker, a physical touchdown catch on a dangerous throw by Harrington, but it all connects. 6th touchdown of the season for Booker. Marty Booker stealing the ball from 2 defenders for a 6th touchdown. That's his 7th catch today. And with that, he's at the 50 catch mark. Welker's got 58, Chambers 52, Booker 50. First time in Miami history, 3 wide receivers with 50 catches each.
Well, that's because when Dan Marino was here, no one ever caught passes besides Duper and Clayton.
Yeah, he didn't like anybody else, I guess.
He'd throw Joe Rose an occasional bone.
Yeah, those were 2 pretty fair receivers, weren't they? Ball blown off the tee is Olindo Mari ready to send it toward the Patriots and Brady. And don't have to tell you fans who have watched the Patriots and Brady at work, he's tough from behind as well. He can rally a team.
But that last play by Chambers was a wonderful veteran adjustment. And Booker and Joey Harrington did a nice job of throwing it, but if Booker hadn't have made the adjustment, it wouldn't have been a touchdown.
There was another what if. Throw that in after this kickoff. Spins down, kicked by Falk, picked up at the 6. And out he comes across the 20 to the 23-yard line. As this play is made in the end zone, just remember Hawkins is playing for Rodney Harrison.
Well, here's Booker right here, and watch what he does when he goes down the field. He starts on a crossing pattern, then he adjusts and splits the safety straight up the field. And he makes this adjustment because as Joey Harrington leaves the pocket, he sees I can't go across. He's leaving the pocket, so as he leaves the pocket, I got to go that way. Excellent adjustment, and Hawkins just can't react back in time to the adjustment that Booker's made.
Now the Patriot situation is more desperate with 2:44 left in the 3rd quarter, down by 13. Brady goes to work. Gets out of trouble. Not now. Fumbles. Scramble at the 20-yard line. Dan Copen, the center, able to save disaster indeed. Matt Roth with the sack.
Well, we started out with, the clues I was giving you early in the game was turn loose the dogs. Well, you take the leashes and the collars and everything off these dogs when you get a lead like this, and they're going to have to throw.
Roth, who was the 2nd-round pick of the Dolphins a year ago out of Iowa, he surprised Brady with his speed. I don't think Tom thought anyone was on his backside because he eluded the others.
Well, you play this team with Holiday and Roth and Taylor and that group, Bowen, you better know that these are fast defensive ends.
3 sacks, quick throw, little flanker screen, and out to the 25 goes Patrick Pass, who was set out on that left flat. He makes it to the 26-yard line and brings up 3rd down.
So instead of 3rd and really long, it's just 3rd and long.
So it was Jeremiah Bell, but they all call him Jeremiah, his mom naming him with her study of the Bible, but she wanted to be different, so named him Jeremiah. Eastern Kentucky, a walk-on, quite a story. Worked in the steel mills.
Well, if Jeremiah and his buddies back in the backfield can give this rush a couple of seconds, Jason Taylor's on the left side. They'll get there.
3rd and 7. Up, delay a game. Brady couldn't get the play off unless he called time. They called time first.
That's their first team timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Well, let's go back to the last time Bill Belichick's team lost on the road. They have not been defeated since week 12, going back to last season when they were knocked off by Kansas City 26-16 under constant pressure that day. Tom Brady sacked 3 times, intercepted 4 times as the Chiefs prevailed 26-16.
Pretty easy to figure out. If you want to affect this team, you affect the quarterback. And since that 9-11 start, it's not only the 3 of 10, but think of all the pressures and the knockdowns and everything else that's happened.
And clock eating up time. 1:03 left in the 3rd. 3rd down and 7. Each possession precious, of course. Brady trying to get a first down. Kevin Falk, the running back. Troy Brown, watch him. He's the man in motion. Snap to Falk. He runs right. 30, 35, and he's got a first down at the 39. How about that call? Direct snap to the running back, Kevin Falk.
We stood and watched practice on Friday, and the Dolphins ran that play. They ran the direct snap. They stopped it Friday, but unfortunately for them, Sunday they didn't. They got Big Dan Neal out in front doing a nice job of leading, but that was mainly just an excellent play call by Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick on the sideline, catching Nick Saban's defense really off guard.
11 of those 94 yards on that carry. Only the 9th first down for the Patriots. There's Corey Dillon. He gets about 5 before Channing Crowder can make the tackle. The former Florida linebacker who used to wrestle alligators and wild boars in college. Can you believe that? How's that for a hobby?
Well, he went to the right college. It's kind of hard to do that if you go to Idaho. Down in Florida, it's a lot easier.
Thing about those gators, he said, they're pointed at both ends. You got something to grab. Let's see
Good luck.
Into the 3rd quarter with a score. 13-0 Dolphins. Will return after these words. Welcome back to the 4th quarter here in Miami. 13-0 the score. And on 2nd and 5, Dillon carries for a couple. It'll be 3rd and 2.
If this was a race, Dick, whether it's back, I guess, in the 50s and 60s, it was a great see Ben Watson being attended to on the sideline. A great horse. My dad used to tell me about Silky Sullivan that closed so well.
Came from way off the pace.
Well, this would be the time to come off the pace if you're the Patriots. Time to go to the whip, boys.
3rd down and 2 for Brady. He gives it to Dillon. Big hole up the middle. 50, 45, and the big fella rumbles to the 42-yard line before Jeremiah Bell can bring him down.
And if you're Miami, you have to know the championship caliber of who you're playing and the fact that sooner or later they're going to make a serious hard push at you. And if you can stop that hard push, you can get them in desperate mode. But if they can get you off balance and they can get a score here, they can turn things around momentum-wise.
First down at the Miami 42. You give it to Patrick Pass. A little quicker start out of the blocks than Corey Dillon, and he shoots his way up about to a 5, maybe a 4-yard gain. Keith, the truck trailer, in on the tackle.
Well, if you can get the running game going in your New England, it's totally different from that Miami defense, because that takes Miami kind of out of that attack at all odds kind of a defense.
No time to panic. They're just 2 touchdowns down. And a hand to Pass, and he doesn't get any free passes. Keith Traylor there to stack him up with plenty of help.
Here's another good reason, Dick, why you want to get the running game going, because your quarterback Tom Brady has taken beatings really early, kind of early, and here late in the game, they're getting all over number 12.
You know, they had only one first down, the Patriots, in that entire third quarter.
Oh, and it's been since the opening game of the 2003 season, in case you were curious. The Patriots have been shut out. That was Buffalo, 33-0.
Brady only 78 yards passing today on 12 throws, 12 completions. 3rd and 5. To the near sidelines, incomplete, and that was Zach Thomas, the middle linebacker, and covering his man well, Kevin Falk. And Thomas, in his 160th game, hasn't lost a step.
Look at Jason Taylor take Matt Light all the way back to Brady, and Brady wasn't able to step up into that throw. He had to sort of throw a fall-away jumper.
They're going to go for it.
Well, there's no surprise here. And here's where you really wish you had Ben Watson if you're the Patriots offense.
They've made 14 of 17 fourth down tries this year, but most of them shorter than this, 4th and 5.
Motion on Matt Light, the left tackle moved.
He's trying to get that quick step, knowing Taylor's in the block.
False start, offense number 72. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
And that changes the entire landscape of the play call.
There's Matt Light, the left tackle, and that gets in Lyman's head. Remember, last play, Jason Taylor pushed him back into the quarterback, and he wants to get back, and he wants to get set, and he wants to get ready, and he got his set a little bit early.
8th New England penalty, and moving it from 4th and 5 to 4th and 10. Bill Belichick feels the wisest call here is to give up the ball and call on his own defense. Welker is at the 10. Kick, fair catch. Welker at the 13-yard line. Now the home team Dolphins have it again, enjoying a 13-0 edge. Look across the way at the New England bench. Those are the offensive linemen. They've all grown heavy beards, and there's a story of their problems today. Brady sacked 3 times, knocked down 7. Watson and Wolford out with leg injuries, and lots of penalties against the Patriots. Handoff inside to Sammy Morris, who gets about 3 to the 15-yard line. A reminder on Thursday, folks, Survivor, only 2 episodes are left now, and how dirty will things get? Don't miss a new Survivor on Thursday, plus the season finale and the live reunion show. That'll be coming up a week from tonight here on CBS.
You know, that offensive line we just showed, they all look like a bunch of mountain men in front of Tom Brady, but it's the old saying, sometimes you eat the bear and sometimes the bear eats you. Well, the bear's got his napkin on his neck and his fork and his knife in his hands, and he's getting ready to go to dinner.
They can do that too, huh?
Yeah, well, they're multi-talented.
Well, I bet James Brown could add on that, but he's got more important things to share.
No, I'm loving what you guys are saying, Dick and Randy, but take a look here. Giants fans are loving Eli Manning hooking up with David Tyree, a desperate team looking to snap a 4-game losing streak, up 27-10 over Carolina. Dick and Randy.
Oh, JB, so the Giants answering the call at a very opportune time as they need a win desperately. Carolina's in the same position.
Wow, putting Carolina, a lot of people thought they'd be a Super Bowl team.
That would make them 6 and 7 should they lose. Harrington escapes the rush. Gets a block, throws it incomplete. Not a bad play. Threw it out to Randy McMichael as he did in the first half. A little shovel pass, but he saves the sack and any loss of yards with the incomplete pass.
It sounds sometimes like defeatism, but possessions that end in kicks aren't turnovers, and they're not momentum changers. And he gave it his best shot, tried to make that play, but it's almost better he didn't make it. They're still going to kick it.
But hope still lives for the Patriots. They've got 11 minutes left, trailing 13-0. And Donnie Jones to punt it to Falk and Brown. They use a stack return here because of the wind. Nice high kick. Falk at the 35, 40, 50, and all the way to the 47 of the Dolphins. So Kevin Falk's return gives Tom Brady excellent position, a rare time in the game today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sony SXRD. If you're not watching a Sony SXRD HD TV, what are you watching? AIG. For insurance, investments, retirement, AIG. The strength to be there. And by the Braun 360 Complete.
Patriots trailing 13-0, but have the ball with the start of this possession at the 48-yard line. Brady with only 78 yards passing, half of Joey Harrington's total for Miami. He throws this one away as he was going to be under pressure. Daniel Graham, the tight end, the target. A reminder, coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader on CBS. The Broncos, can they stop LT and the Chargers, or the Bills and the Jets? And the Jets looking at this game, wiping their chin, thinking maybe we can be within a game of the lead. Both games, playoff implications. Game 2, doubleheader here on CBS.
Yeah, to the Jets, it's, the heck with the wild card. We get a little help, we can win this division. They're going to win 10, 11 games in New York this year.
Second down and 10. Dillon stops, starts, and then is hit. Gain of a yard. Up from the secondary comes Ronaldo Hill. Well, to show you how Miami has defensed Tom Brady, his low total passing this year was in the first game. The Patriots won at 20-10, but he threw for only 140 yards. Today he's got 78.
And he's spreading it around to a lot of receivers. It's just not for very many yards. They're really limiting what he can do and absolutely taking everything down the field away.
Actually, no gain credited on the Dillon run. It's 3rd and 10. On the blitz, and Brady gets rid of it, but there's the flag. Jeremiah He could have pulled up in the judgment of Larry Nemmers, the
Personal
referee.
foul, roughing the quarterback. Defense number 37.
Now that's a bad play by Bell because he had done his job. The incomplete pass, they were going to have to punt.
There's Jeremiah Bell right there. In the Creedence Clearwater song, he was a bullfrog, but right here, Jeremiah's a goat.
That's the way they call him these days, and he wouldn't let go. He continued to drive through Brady, and that takes the ball all the way down to the 33-yard line and a first down for the Patriots, and that could be a game turner.
Really important right now for Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas and the veterans on this defense to take control of this defense and make sure they don't get too emotional. Keep your concentration level up. That's what's helped you stop this offense.
Knock it down at the 9:55 mark. What would have been a punt situation for the Patriots. Instead, there's a throwback to Brady, makes a good catch, and now he throws wide open is Graham, and the Patriots get a touchdown on a trick play. Kevin Falk.
I think that was a forward pass by Kevin Falk.
That's the argument. Nick Saban, it was right in front of him. There's no flag yet.
Well, Kevin Falk was clearly in back of Tom Brady when he threw that pass.
Even though Brady had to make a one-handed catch of the forward pass lateral, intended to be a lateral.
Falk was on the 41. Brady caught it on the 37. So it wasn't even a
close.
No, not even a Music City miracle. Wasn't even debatable. That was clearly a forward pass. Look at Nick Saban's pointing up at the big screens. I mean, they've got two gigantic HD TVs in the stadium. And there's the flag.
There is one of the real tosses.
We have an illegal forward pass. Two forward passes on the play. Number 10, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Lost it down.
So that's a direct snap to Falk, and then Brady slips out into the flat.
Now, if Falk's got the ball, now here he is right here. Here's Tom Brady. Now watch, he's on the 41-yard line. Tom Brady's on the 42 when he throws it, but he catches it on the 37. That's clearly a forward pass. I mean, Brady does a nice job of getting that next one off and kind of hoping no one saw what happened.
It's the risk of the gimmick play that had the pass by Falk here been back behind Brady,
Brady had not one but two men wide open for the touchdown. Even off balance, he was able to get the ball there.
And remember, that play happened on first down, so that's not only going to be the penalty, it's also a loss of down for an illegal forward pass.
Yeah, they've only ticketed him for 5 yards and second down and 15, right. Scoreboard still with first down and 15. 13-0. Miami leading, 9:44 left in the fourth quarter. Patriots, the only team in the league that has not lost a game on the road. Brady fires to the near side to Gabriel, incomplete. Throwing behind Gabriel, who was covered on the play by Travis Daniels.
Well, that's called throwing to the backside shoulder. And that's something that Tom Brady does as well as anybody else out there.
Should be third down. They have not moved the there's Randy Cross indicate loss of down and the penalty.
Yeah, this should be third down and 15 right now.
And it, according to the officials booth here in the press box, it is third and 15. Brady over the middle, incomplete. Troy Brown was sitting there looking for the short pass. Brady couldn't find him. Ed Graham in the pattern deeper, but it was intended for Brown. Fourth down, trailing 13-0. Still a lot of time. 9:34 now. On the field, they're saying third down.
It's third down on the field.
So the Patriots are going to get an extra down out of this. What would be, should be, fourth down is third down and 15. Brady hit from behind. Is it ruled a fumble? Yes, it is. The scramble, and Miami has the ball. Jeremiah Bell makes amends. He hits Brady on the backside, and Roth recovers.
Well, Jeremiah Bell comes from his safety position, comes all the way through, and gets there just at the last second. Well, that bear right now is starting to dig in. He's hungry and he's eating.
And welcome back. It was the fumble forced by Jeremiah Bell, recovered by Roth, as Brady harassed throughout this day by the Miami defense. And the Dolphins take over in the handoff to Sammy Morris, who sprints out to the 49, nearly 10 on the play, and he may have the first down before Teddy Bruschi can trip him up.
That's attacking right where Vince Wilfork would normally be, and that big physical right side of the offensive line for the Miami Dolphins with Vernon Carey and L.J. Shelton. I mean, that's a lot of push, and you can't counter it. I mean, Mike Wright's a good defensive end, but he's only about 300 pounds, 295 pounds, and he's not that big block like Vince Wilfork is.
And Vince unable to return. A lower leg injury suffered here in the second half, and we haven't seen Ben Watson either. They were wrapping his left knee. On first down, back to Morris. And Morris showed on Thanksgiving Day that he's a good late game runner. When others get tired, he seems to get better. Teddy Bruschi again, another stop.
Sort of what we talked about at the very beginning about, not only turn loose the dogs, which they have, the kicks are okay. Right now that should be 2 forced fumbles after that Tom Brady fumble, and they have done everything from the Miami side standpoint that they needed to, and really they have not solved the puzzle that is Jason Taylor and the Miami Dolphins defense to the Patriots offense.
Second down and 6. And again, it goes on Chris Chambers on the quick hitter, and Chambers has a first down at the 40-yard line before Asante Samuel and put on the defensive strike. The Dolphins, this is no surprise to fans who have watched Miami play of late. Their defense has been stingy. They allowed only 13 in upsetting the Bears, 10 to Kansas City, did give up 20 but beat Minnesota, only 10 to Detroit on Thanksgiving Day, and last week 24 to Jacksonville, and no points to the Patriots for Nick Saban's team this afternoon.
If this offense doesn't turn over the ball and put Nick Saban's defense in a bad position, they will always have a chance to win a ball game.
First down. Travis Minor for a couple of yards. Well, let's go back to that Bears game. That shocked the NFL. Ronnie Brown celebrated a career day in his second season out of Auburn. 157 yards rushing. Dolphins defense truly shut down the Bears. Joey Harrington, meanwhile, threw for 3 touchdowns. And Miami ended the Bears' hopes of an undefeated season 31-13. Brian Urlacher didn't want to go out and say, "How's it going, Brian?" to him that night. Travis Minor back in the game in 2nd and 7. Harrington under pressure throws quickly. Another great catch by Booker. How did he get that one? The touchdown was a physical marvel as he fought off 2 Patriots and somehow twists his body away from Chad Scott and steals another big catch.
How in the heck did Joey Harrington get that ball to the exact perfect spot where only his guy could get it? Look at the reach and the arms and 2-3 feet down to make it a legal catch. Possession 1, 2, 3. But look at Joey Harrington getting smacked by Ty Warren and Tully Banty-Kane.
First down just outside the 10-yard line. 13-0 Miami trying to seal this one away as we get near the 6-minute mark. Sammy Morris 10-5 and fumbles, but it was out of bounds at the 3-yard line. And let's go back to Marty Booker. What a game for this 8-year veteran from Louisiana Monroe. He's got 8 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown. And they weren't just easy little plays, little slants, little outs. He really fought for the touchdown and that last one on the sidelines. Meanwhile, as you can see on our stat tracks, Morris has compiled 68 yards rushing.
And they've changed things around a little bit since Wilfork left this game, just being able to go at him and getting that running game going.
Yeah, that's made a big difference, hasn't it? 2nd and short. Morris stays on his feet, battles, but way too much Patriot defensive firepower. Mike Wright, defensive tackle, and he's subbing for Wilfork, but he gives about 30 pounds less to block in the middle.
And more importantly to these Patriots, obviously don't give up points and field goal worst case scenario. We're getting towards 5 minutes left in this ball game. And if clock and time is oxygen to Bill Belichick's football team, they're starting to gasp for air right now.
Only 1 of 10 on 3rd down today for Miami, but that doesn't mean much when you're leading 13-0. Doesn't correlate on this afternoon. Here's Morris, finds a hole, dives in the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. That is his first rushing touchdown of the season.
And that defense for New England looks incredulous. I mean, they just can't believe this has happened to them. Over that right side, and they're going to go for 2 points here. Try to get it up to 21-0. Make it a full 3-touchdown margin.
So 19-0, and Harrington has made his call for the 2-point conversion. Chambers to the right, as is Wes Welker. And the star of the day, Marty Booker, offensively, is way out to the left, isolated on Chad Scott. Morris in the backfield. It's Booker again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Marty Booker Show in Miami. What a game. 21-0, the Dolphins with a lead. Morris, the touchdown. Booker adds 2. Dark clouds as you look across to the Patriots sidelines, and certainly that's symbolic of what has greeted them here in South Miami today. As after the fumble recovery, Brady's fumble, 61 yards in 8 plays, with Morris the touchdown from 3 yards, and then the 2-point conversion to Marty Booker. a day to forget for Tom Brady so far. 61 yards, 8 plays. They go on the drive. And we'll re-clarify. It's a moot point now, the whole double pass and penalty and loss it down or not loss it down. We'll go through that when we get a moment. Long kick to Ellis Hobbs, and he's going to gamble and take it out. Hobbs 10, 20. Oh, he's fast. 30, 40, and finally dragged down just shy of the 45-yard line. It was Travis Minor who made the time. No, Travaris Tillman gets him a 50-yard return.
You know, Dick, just to clarify that rule, I was wrong about that. It were 2 forward passes, but they were both behind the line of scrimmage. One was an illegal forward pass, the second one by Brady. But if he'd have thrown it past the line of scrimmage, the illegal forward pass, then it would have been a loss of down. But because they were both behind the line of scrimmage, we saw the signal that it was a loss of down, but you know, I was wrong about that.
Well, that illegal forward pass is kind of following us around, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We had the San Diego game with the illegal forward pass. As Brady trying to make it legal here and can't make it. Matt Castle has come in. Castle replacing Brady in a 21-0 deficit, and his first throw is incomplete, looking for Troy Brown.
In case you're wondering why is Matt Castle in, I know it's 21-0. Tom Brady can do anything. I don't know if you want to expose Tom Brady to this. He's taken a beating all day long. They haven't all been sacks. Some have been fumbles, but they've all been hits, and it's all been pressure.
12 for 25 for Brady. Out of character today. 78 yards is all he got passing. His by far the poorest day of the season, and in many seasons. Castle, these are the first passes of the year for him, and Heath Evans is drilled by Zach Thomas. And Tom, he's a tackling machine, isn't he?
Well, that's happened in practice a couple times. Evans used to be a Dolphin. Listen to this. Oh, yes.
Pads on pads.
And a perfect tackle. Wasn't using the head, shooting the hips, wrapping the arms.
That 21-inch neck of Zach Thomas. Underneath it goes to Daniel Graham, and Graham has a first down at the 43. You know, Zach once with a wink of the eye said, you know, I am only 5'11". I am short for an NFL linebacker. That's why they picked me in the 5th round. But if it weren't for my neck, you know, if they just stretched that out, I could have been 6'2" or 3.
Yeah, well, Zach Thomas and Teddy Bruschi are linebackers, middle linebackers today. Might be the smartest non-quarterbacks in the league.
This is Evans coming through the center of the line to the 39. Will Allen up to help make the tackle. Clock running, 3:39, 3:38 left in the 4th quarter, and stunning results here at Dolphin Stadium. New England has not been shut out since the opener against Buffalo 4 seasons ago. That came just after Lawyer Malloy had been traded, and down goes Castle. He can now join Brady, and knowing how that feels, and they may have the ball. They do. The Dolphins recover. Jeff Skanina, the veteran from Purdue, and who would knock the ball away? Well, I won't even let you guess. Jason Taylor, his 4th fumble of the year. He leads the NFL.
You know, I know Sean Merriman's a heck of a player out in San Diego, but this Jason Taylor is going to get lots of votes, if not the majority of the votes, for Defensive Player of the Year. I know he'll get Bill Belichick's vote.
You know, Randy, there's these young kids that don't think they'll be drafted, and they get a video of themselves to sell them to some team. If you were to just sell anyone who had never seen Jason Taylor play, his effort in this game, you say, wow, does anyone play better than that?
He's the definition of go by what you see, not what you think. And as far as measurements, a 240-pound linebacker or defensive end, they can't play in this league.
Here comes Morris, bangs his way forward for 4. As we remind you tonight on 60 Minutes, it's violent, it's bloody, it's full of action. So why do Americans love ultimate fighting? You'll see on 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, and Without a Trace tonight on CBS, America's #1 network. I kind of like intimate fighting more than ultimate fighting, but that's just a matter of taste.
Well, that's the start of that promo for 60 Minutes about the bloody and the contact and the hitting. You could have fooled Tom Brady. You thought he was probably talking about today.
Am I on that too? 2nd down and 6. Yeah, pardon us for finding some humor in the Patriot demise, but these Dolphins certainly in all eyes but have earned this victory today, and there's the spearhead defensively.
Well, there's games when you play in this league that you lose. You make mistakes, and you deserve to lose because you've made those mistakes. And there's teams when you play a team and they just beat you. And Miami has had New England come into their house, and they have just beaten the New England Patriots physically and mentally.
2 minutes away from their 6th win of the year, the Dolphins. 2 minutes to go, and the exercise now of Harrington just holding on to the ball. I don't think the Patriots are going to call any timeouts. He gives to Sammy Morris, and he sprints into the clear. 30, Hawkins chasing him, 20, 10, 5 he goes. And down at the 4-yard line. So that'll look good statistically for Sammy Morris. That'll put him up close to 100 yards for the day.
Well, remember, Dick, the last game of the year last year, Miami beat the Patriots. Brady didn't play. Everyone said, well, gee, that really was kind of meaningless. This one means a lot to Nick Saban and the Dolphins. This is a real living, breathing, big win late in the game.
He blasts right through the century barrier with that run. 123 yards for Morris, to the delight of Jason Taylor. Down at the 5-yard line they rule. 1st and goal.
They're going to kneel on it.
Yeah, here are two good friends, coaching friends, Belichick and Saban, that go all the way back, as we said, to the early 90s when Belichick was the head coach at Cleveland. Jason Taylor, what a day. All he had was 8 tackles, 3 knockdowns, another sack, a forced fumble, and dominated Brady. Even though they had special design to chip on him, use 2 blockers on him, they just couldn't stop the persistent pressure of Jason Taylor today. 37 seconds. Executive producers of the NFL on CBS are Sean McManus and Tony Petitti. Today's game produced by Bob Monsbach, directed by Suzanne Smith. Senior producer of CBS Sports. And the NFL Today is Eric Mann. Director is Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports, Harold Bryant. Associate directors today's game are Corey Fishman and John Paquette. Broadcast associates Julie Landa, Neil Patel. Technical manager Doug Fleetum. Technical director Chris Romanek. Audio supervisor Dave Grunvik. Also stats by Butch Baird and John Gwynn. Mike Burton, our spotter, and Max Greenspan on research. All here are the men and women who brought you the sounds and signs from Miami, where the final score, the Miami Dolphins go 6-7 with a surprising 21-0 shutout of the New England Patriots, led by Jason Taylor on defense and Marty Booker on offense. Stay tuned. Game 2 of our doubleheader, Denver and the Chargers. You'll see that scoring machine, LT. Or the Bills take on Chad Pennington and the Jets. For Randy Cross, this is Dick Enberg. So long from Miami.
And we'd like to welcome those of you who are watching the New England-Miami game. The Dolphins spanking the New England Patriots 21-0. First time that the Patriots have been shut out since opening day 03. The Dolphins get it done, and how surprising?
Well, you know, it's not surprising because Miami's a team that always plays New England tough at home. New England struggle there when they've come there in the past, and what they do in this game is they get after Tom Brady. He was sacked 4 times. They're getting a lot of hits on him, a lot of pressures. Jason Taylor had another big game, and Joey Harrington didn't turn it over and give them good field position.
And Joey Harrington certainly looked pretty good. So, Dan, let's go through the highlights in this one. Harrington.
Well, here it is. Joey Harrington rolling out. He gets time to throw. Marty Booker with a nice catch right here. Almost gets deflected. He comes up with a touchdown pass. Tom Brady scrambling. Pressure all day. There's Bell comes in, knocks the ball away. They get a recovery. But on the day, Jason Taylor had a sack, forced fumble. But I said 4 sacks by Miami. There's Sammy Morris. He goes in. That puts them up by 3 touchdowns after a 2-point conversion. So big day for the Miami Dolphins. A lot of pressure on Tom Brady.
317 total yards for Miami to 189. And, you know, you were talking earlier about how the Patriots start to stumble down the stretch here.
They have. This doesn't look like the same Patriots team that won those 3 Super Bowls in a 4-year span. They don't protect Tom Brady. Tom Brady's turning the football over. And the receivers, I said it before, they're very average. You get up, you press them. That causes problems. Their defense, because they're so banged banged up in the secondary, JB. This is not the same New England Patriots team. They're going to go to the playoffs, but they're not going very far.
Injuries to Ben Watson and Vince Wilfork today. Again, I don't remember the last time that I've seen Tom Brady beat up kind of like this. Well, actually, the last 4 weeks he's been beat up a lot, so they have to shore up that offensive line protection first and foremost.
All right, we'd like to welcome those of you who are joining us now, and a reminder that coming up, doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Most of you will see Denver at San Diego, and then an AFC East battle between Buffalo and the New York Jets. That'll be coming your way in just a bit. In the meantime, let's get you caught up. Raiders at the Bengals. Boom.
Well, Carson Palmer threw 3 interceptions on the day. Rudy Johnson had 2 touchdowns. Carson threw a couple 3 touchdown passes as well. Right here, you'll see P.J. Houshmandzadeh come down with this. This is an easy win for the Cincinnati Bengals, even though their offense didn't play great. The Oakland Raider offense is just awful, so no problem for the Cincinnati Bengals today.
4 straight now for the Bengals.
3 tough ones coming up, though.
And we'd like to welcome those of you who are watching the Baltimore Ravens take care of business against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. A tough venue indeed to get it done, but the Ravens got it done and improved to 10-3 with that one. And who would have thunk it, because Arrowhead is a very difficult venue to play in.
It is a very difficult venue to play in, JB. They hadn't lost a game in December since 1996, but when the Baltimore Ravens go in there, they ran the football with Jamal, controlled the tempo, but what they did, they got after Trent Green. 5 sacks, 3 turnovers, and when you play defense like they play, they always got a chance, because as long as they don't turn the football over and put their defense in harm's way, they're going to be tough out.
And they're not going to need a lot of production out of Steve McNair. When you play great defense, you're able to run the football. All Steve McNair has to do is not turn it over. He moved out of the pocket a couple times, made some big plays down the field, and that's going to be important for them down the stretch going into the playoffs.
And as miserable as they felt, 10 days ago when they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals on a Thursday night, is as great as they feel today. And the reason why is they have a shot at the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs, folks. They beat the San Diego Chargers already this year, with Indianapolis losing, and now all of a sudden everybody having huge questions about the Indianapolis Colts defense. Don't be surprised if the Baltimore Ravens end up with the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Action is getting tight.
It's
as
great.
we head
It's
down
great.
the stretch, loving every bit of it. Speaking of Indianapolis, what happened to them today, Dan?
Jacksonville basically just ran over the Indianapolis Colts right here. Here's Maurice Jones-Drew. He goes in on a touchdown. The previous play before this, Fred Taylor went 76 yards on the first run. Here's Fred Taylor up the middle, 21 yards for a touchdown. Fred Taylor on the day, 9 rushes, 131 yards. Maurice Jones-Drew, 15 rushes, 166 yards. That's 340 yards by Jacksonville rushing the football today on the Indianapolis Colts. That means trouble for the Indianapolis Colts, especially when it comes to playoff time.
Wow. 365 rushing yards
And
allowed.
Maurice Jones-Drew all-purpose yards, because he ran a kickback too. So he had all those rushing yards. He ran a kickback for a touchdown, over 300 yards total offense. For not total offense, but all-purpose yards for Maurice.
And deferring to you guys, you talked earlier on about there being some holes in that Colts game that would start to magnify themselves, and they have.
Holes? Is that what you call it, JB?
The holes in the defense.
Hey, we told them at halftime, come on, guys, pick it up. We got a
Defense,
chance
man,
in the second half. But when you play defense like they do, what the Indianapolis Colts are predicated on is playing with a lead. Because they have such a high-powered offense, normally they get up on you 21-0, 21-3, and now you're forced to throw the football. But Jacksonville didn't deviate. Jacksonville came right down the field, ran the football down their throat. They took a page out of the Tennessee Titans playbook. Tennessee got behind 14-0. Normally, you get behind 14-0 at your place, you're going to start throwing the football all over. But they stayed with the game plan. They ran the football, and that's going to be Indy's downfall. They can't stop the run.
Confidence sinking then of the Colts?
Well, I think the defense, certainly. I don't think it's going to hinder anything at all with Peyton Manning, and just going to ramp up the pressure on him, and everybody's going to expect him to overcome these shortcomings. We said it time and again at this set, you can't have a flawed team and expect to win a Super Bowl. But the other aspect of all of this is that Jacksonville and Tennessee, by being in the same division with Indianapolis, know them better than anybody else, and this is the blueprint to win. Keep Peyton Manning on the sideline, run against this defense, and I'm telling you, that's exactly what the Bengals will do. That's exactly what everybody else that's going to be on their schedule and then ultimately in the playoffs is going to do.
With the exception of Jacksonville, everybody that has a possible chance of getting into the playoffs can run the football, Boom. And these teams are good. You're not going to be playing these teams.
San Diego, Baltimore can run the football.
Jacksonville.
New England, when Maroney's healthy, with Dillon, they can all run the football.
All right, let's move along here. Could the Atlanta Falcons make it 2 straight after beating Washington last week?
Here, Bruce Gronkowski's back to pass. John Abraham chops the arm, made famous by LT. And here, Demario Williams picks this ball up, 54 yards. They're in the lead now, 7-6, after not being able to muster much on offense. Here, Mike Vick, hands off to Justin Griffin. Oh my goodness, did you even see it? Yeah. Puts the okey-doke on him, JB. 17-6, Atlanta.
He said freeze.
The old okie doke. Now, Dan, again, while Vic did not have a big game there, again, for the team perspective, confidence has to be built a little bit.
Well, it's building for them. And like I said, when Michael Vick is consistent in the game and they don't turn the ball over, he has the ability to take a game over. And he's been showing that. But the thing is, the reason why they're 6-6 is because offensively, they're not as consistent. And for them to get in the playoffs, they're going to have to continue to do that.
And a couple of teams that won up big today, obviously the Atlanta Falcons. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Washington Redskins. That's a big win as well in this wild card race over in the NFC. You take a look at Kansas City, they take a step back. Indianapolis takes a step back. The New York Jets have got to be saying, wow, if we win today against the Buffalo Bills, we can be 1 game behind the New England Patriots with 3 to go. Who would have thought that would have been the case, say, 5 weeks ago?
No question about it. Vince Young goes back home, Tennessee, and the Texans, boom.
And here comes Travis Henry right there. They're going to be up 17-13 Houston, but Vince Young does what he does best. He brings it back in the 4th quarter. They go up, and then Houston's Chris Brown is going to kick the game-tying field goal, and they will now go into overtime. What a nice homecoming for Vince Young to go back to Houston. Remember, that's where he's from. There was a lot of debate as to whether or not they should have picked him as opposed to staying with David Carr. They elected to stay with David Carr. David Carr's under a lot of pressure this week because they're not living up to what their preseason expectations were all about. So a lot riding on this game for a lot of other reasons.
All over the place.
There is, yeah.
If you don't take Vince Young, you got to at least take Reggie Bush. I don't know if you go take, Mario Williams, but hey, they did him. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what the big picture shows as far as that one is concerned as well. And we welcome those of you who are watching the Colts get smashed by the Jacksonville Jaguars 44-17 and talk about the Achilles heel of the Indianapolis Colts being their rush defense just didn't get it done at all.
It is a disaster of mammoth proportions as far as the Indianapolis Colts defense is concerned, Danny.
And you see Maurice Jones-Drew, he goes in. That's their first score right there, Boomer. But the play previous to this, Fred Taylor went 76 yards. That's their second play. Here's Fred Taylor again, up the middle. 21 yards for this score. Fred Taylor had 131 yards on 9 rushes today. Jacksonville ran for 3.